We thought we had seen it all, from mass murders, psychopaths, hooligans, and serial killers to even presidents. Cops have been on a roll arresting people of all types, but have seen cases where they arrest FBI agents. Were they rightly arrested? And do wrongful arrests of law enforcement officials call for the arrest with heavier punishments? Join us as we check a look at bizarre cases where dumb decisions from cops take them to rather odd position. So why don't we just kick things off with a crossover story of an FBI agent who has been wrongfully jailed? In our first case, the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department detained a former FBI agent for no apparent reason. It was a bizarre and ridiculous incident. As it turned out, Roger Golubski, a former detective, had been falsely accused of assaulting two black women between 1998 and 2002. There have been 2 accusations, to be exact. The real question is, however, how did the Kansas City police force allow him to get away with it for so long? Roger Golubski's unsolved case was discovered by the FBI while it was looking into the Kansas City Police Department's behavior. The former detective had a history of sexually assaulting women over the course of his 35-year career as a police officer and had been trading drugs for information. Lamonte McIntyre, a young black man, was accused of committing a double homicide by Golubski during his time as a police officer. McIntyre was ultimately freed after serving 24 years in prison without proper cause as a result. Golubski was taken into custody by the FBI on suspicion of 6 counts of sexually assaulting 2 black women. He has since entered a not guilty plea. Despite the jury rejecting his lawyer's request for release on medical grounds, he was kept in custody for routine medical examination. Black woman Rhonda Tribute, whose corpse was discovered in 1998, was one of Golubski's informants. Her case remains unsolved despite the fact that the investigation was started but never finished. She died, and Golubski's involvement is now being called into question by many people. That is exactly what we are saying. Many civil rights advocates across the nation have praised the arrest of Golubski, but it also raises serious questions about police behavior and the abuse of their authority. According to Tricia Bullnell, the director of the Midwest Innocence Project, a full investigation into the abuses in Wyandotte County and systematic reforms are needed to ensure that no other police officers and public officials can continue to abuse their power. As more of Golubski's crimes were discovered, it became clear that the Kansas City Police Department needed significant restructuring. Several inquiries remain unanswered as a result of the FBI's inquiry into the department. Roger Golubski's arrest was long overdue, but it's worth noting that it was the FBI, not the Kansas City Police, who brought him to justice. Next up, with the arrest of 2 Drug Enforcement Administration officers by the FBI in Nassau County, Florida, the situation has unexpectedly turned around. The DEA, a law enforcement organization renowned for its aggressive efforts to combat the drug trade, has charged 2 officers with drug-related offenses. But the system's level of dysfunction clearly remains unclear. While selling drugs, including cocaine, that had been seized to willing customers, Sergeant James Hickox was captured with his hand in a cookie jar. His greed knew no bounds as he also combined drugs with other substances to make up the weight difference and kept parts for himself. In his bedroom closet, the FBI discovered 3 shoeboxes, each containing $100,000 in cash. They also discovered another $200,000 hidden in his garage. Hickox claimed that he borrowed the funds for his claim by partaking in his gambling habit when asked where the money came from. Hickox's actions have hurt the DEA's reputation and are obviously a breach of his obligations as a law enforcement officer. Joshua Erie, a highway inspector, had been covered in the same drugs that had to be seized, even going so far as to legally approve the prescription of 43 oxycodone pills. He purchased drugs from drug dealers. As if that weren't enough, while under the influence of drugs, he acquired a gun, due to the fact that he was trusted with the law rather than the law itself. Erie's actions were not only wrong, but also dangerous. The surprise arrest of these officers leaves the public wondering just how pervasive corruption is within law enforcement organizations Sheriff Bill Leeper expressed his dissatisfaction by saying, "I think we need to make sure law enforcement personnel who violate the law are held accountable. When I learned of the accusations, I was shocked, let down, repulsed, and beyond angry. These incidents where the police ran into the FBI were some of the most shocking ones. We now look at our last and final case. A significant mishap that made headlines involved the case of mistaken identity between a Florida deputy and an FBI agent. When he received a call from a man claiming to be an FBI agent and asking to meet him in a nearby parking lot, Officer Gordon found himself in a precarious situation. This is a classic illustration of what can go wrong if a person doesn't confirm the identity of the person they're meeting, especially when speaking to a police officer. I do, but I don't understand what the problem is with your meeting me at the office. I'll talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office about it. Cut off the recording device now." "Okay, well, I will when I leave the area, sir." "Well, I will when I leave the area, sir." Asked the officer to turn off his recording device. Suspicions should have been aroused. However, Officer Gordon continued to record the conversation, a classic move. This was a wise decision as well, because it provided proof of what had happened, which, as you can probably guess, didn't turn out too well for Officer Gordon. Despite Agent Hatton's efforts to persuade Gordon that he was an FBI agent, the officer was skeptical and demanded to know how the agent obtained his phone number. Given the predicament the officer was in, it is not shocking that he requested assistance and handcuffed Agent Hatton. However, things started to spiral out of control. It got worse when Hatton shut the car door, especially considering how hot it was in Florida. It's fortunate that Agent Hatton's condition didn't worsen because Gordon made a bad choice in doing this. Concerns were raised by Officer Gordon regarding Agent Hatton's investigation into the actions of law enforcement agencies in North Florida. Agent Hatton's claims that he was an FBI agent may not have been taken seriously by the officer because he was aware of the widespread corruption within the police department and worried about being connected to it. Let's say his ego overcame him. The hour-long incident took place on December 20 in a parking lot off U.S. Highway 98 in the coastal fishing community, 45 miles southwest of Tallahassee. Due to the heat, Agent Hatton, who was shielded from the elements by a bulletproof vest and had limited access to air conditioning, started to experience health problems like nausea and suffocation. He, however, avoided a fatal situation by being taken to a nearby hospital, where he received treatment for dehydration and heat exhaustion before being released. What do you think of our list? Do you think there are more corrupt officials out there? Sound off in the comments below. And while you are at it, make sure to hit subscribe and leave a like for more such content. Thanks for watching.
Put your hands behind your back.
Stop!
Put,
Stop!
Stop! Put your hands behind your back. Okay, well,
The video shows body cam footage from a confrontation with police in Brookings, Oregon. Jennifer Gaiman, a disabled lady, was detained by police for riding her mobility scooter on the sidewalk without a helmet. Jennifer, however, was well within her rights to use the sidewalk for her scooter because she is a disabled citizen. The cops, alas, had a different take on the situation.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get my camera on real quick. Okay, so let you know, conversation being recorded. Are you able to turn that music down a little bit just so we can talk better?
I'm not right now.
Okay.
I just want to go home. It's freezing.
It is
Yo,
cold.
why are you stopping me then? I've
Okay,
been watching this thing for over 2 years now.
I'm gonna explain it to you in a second. We're stopping you because you're on a sidewalk with it.
Yeah,
you rode
because
through
it
a
is
crosswalk.
it's a legal thing on the sidewalk. Look it up. It's a mobile scooter. It's a fucking mobile scooter.
Okay.
it's an electronic scooter.
Yeah, it's a mobile scooter. Okay, do you understand what that means? It's my mobile scooter. It's how I get around. I don't have a car.
Quickly, Jennifer called the police and explained that she was a pedestrian because of her scooter. The uninformed officers, however, continued to approach even after she explained the situation. Officers kept calling it an electronic scooter, most likely so they could write her a ticket.
Yeah, it's like Iris. He goes on.
Yelling?
Yeah, because I'm getting pissed off.
Why are you getting...
Because I want to go home. You guys are pulling me over for no reason.
We're on
It's
a
like
lawful traffic
Iris. It's like Iris. You know Ira, the blue guy, the guy who's right there? It's exactly like his, except it's got 2 seats.
stop.
That's all it is.
It's electronic
Why?
shooter.
Exactly.
Do you deny that it's electronic shooter?
It's not electronic shooter, and I can ride it on a
Is
sidewalk.
it gas powered?
No, it's not gas.
Okay.
I
So
gotta
it's
go.
electronic.
I'm cold. You guys are cold.
You're not free to leave.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're
No, you're
not.
not.
Yeah, I am, because you legally cannot stop me.
You're lawfully detained right now. You are
For what?
literally on a lawful
For
traffic
what?
stop. You see those red and blue lights?
For what, though?
Are you going to
Give
let
me-
me explain it?
Yeah, because you don't have a reason to. You guys are legally, you're taking my Disability Act and you're throwing it in the garbage.
I have
This
no
is
idea
my
what you're talking
disability scooter. This is how I get around. And you know that. You've seen me many times around this town riding it.
about. Okay, are you going to let him explain to you why you're actually on a lawful traffic stop?
Okay, so we stopped you because it was actually looked up before, okay? You can't ride this in a crosswalk and on the sidewalk.
Are you kidding me? So the mobile scooters that ride around here, all these old people can't ride them on the sidewalk?
Nope, not according to the Oregon Department of Transportation. I'll look it up for you, just so you can know that I'm not messing with you. He's not messing
Okay, so I'll let everybody know that you guys have bad laws in this town and that people
It's
that have
Oregon.
disabilities.
It's an Oregon
No, you know
Department
what?
of
That's disabilities. Okay? These people ride these scooters for disability. You want them riding on the streets and they get hit by a car? You're kidding me.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah, well.
Grab some information.
Jennifer was lawfully arrested, and police asked her to see her identification before releasing her. Jennifer was at first hesitant to give her ID, but in the end she did so to speed things up. Several tickets, mostly for driving offenses, were written for Jennifer by the police over the course of around 15 minutes.
No, I know. I've had a citation. Thank you. No, I don't need your job. No, you're not doing your job. No. You're not going to be protecting because listen to those people.
I'm trying to issue a citation right now.
Okay, come on, hurry up.
Which is actually causing me to pay more attention and
Hurry up.
your aggressiveness, which is
Hurry the
kind of
fuck
preventing me from doing my job. So I'm trying to reach you, grab something out of my hand, and you're in jail. You understand that?
Hurry the fuck up.
No, you're going. 4 days to be in the block.
Yeah, of course it did.
The 6th of December.
Yes. I'll double check just to make sure since it didn't bleed through.
Jennifer was followed by the police all the way to her house, where they remained stationed the entire time. Jennifer was forcefully arrested after police arrived at her garage and filed charges of disorderly behavior and eluding arrest.
Why are you taking this long? Stop it!
Put your hands behind your back.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
Put your hands behind
I
your back.
didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna take this home.
Okay, well, we disagree on that. You're under arrest.
You're happy, huh, that I'm getting arrested, aren't you?
He wasn't even there.
I'm getting arrested because I pissed myself, and this is a mobile scooter. I've been riding this around town for years, and you guys know it.
Jennifer was shockingly found guilty on the felony counts and given a 5-day jail term and an 18-month probation period at first. Jennifer, however, decided to launch a lawsuit against the city of Brookings and appeal her conviction on the grounds that she had been wrongfully imprisoned and that her rights under the Disability Act had been infringed upon. The judge sided with Jennifer this time. Her conviction was overturned, and she received a $500,000 payout from the city of Brookings. Now let's move on to our next video. In this video, an unidentified neighbor calls the police to report a domestic disturbance, and the officer's response is caught on camera. The caller said that their 87-year-old mother is being verbally abused, so the police were sent to the scene. However, the reality of the issue turned out to be more nuanced and complex than had been anticipated.
Your mother.
Do you believe,
I have
after
your
hearing my mother,
I
that
heard-
she is in danger?
I heard arguing, and I need to make sure everybody's okay inside the house.
What did you hear? What was said?
I just heard yelling. I couldn't hear
You
what
just
that
heard
said.
yelling, and did I not explain to the yelling? Did she not explain to you the yelling? She told you
Need to
she's
make sure
fine.
okay.
She's sitting on the toilet, and you have to go and see her.
I do, yes.
The police arrested the man who we'll call Papa Meatball outside the residence. They told him that he had to see proof that someone else was there. The neighbor walks up to the conflict and gives a very brash but honest justification. When there is a domestic disturbance, the patrol supervisor is the first person to be absent from the response. Any officer, regardless of jurisdiction, who responds to a domestic violence call involving another officer.
Right. Go get somebody now.
1K32. Can you start get a check on our female? We'll have an ambulance come.
You'll have the ambulance come in and look at her, too.
The ambulance will be here as well.
Right. And you're going to pay for it.
Okay. That's not necessarily what's going to happen.
Well, I'm not paying for nothing. My mom's not paying for nothing because you are forcing this upon us. This intrusion is so fucking unnecessary. You have no idea how hard it is to take care of old people.
I'm sure it's extremely difficult. But I just have a responsibility to make sure everybody's okay, and that's why I'm here.
You don't have the responsibility. A medical person has the
I
responsibility.
have to ensure that there's nothing.
Is required by the model policy on police officer domestic abuse to immediately request the presence of a supervisor from the responding agency. The policy stresses the difficulty that the responding officer faces if left to respond alone or with police of the same or lower rank as a suspect officer. This problem is easily solved by the arrival of a superior commander. Both cops involved in this event were patrol officers and not supervisors.
I'm a caretaker. My mom is 87 years old and she's deaf. And I have to yell at her when she's in the shower to get her to hear my instructions. So the neighbors called the police on me because they think I'm screaming and damaging my mom. And they won't take my word for it. I opened the door. They asked my mom if she's fine. She said, yes, I'm freezing because I'm naked on the toilet. Yet they won't take her word for it either. And I'm not about to let a cop in my house to see my naked mother. Do you understand what's going on here now? Have I explained myself?
At the same time, they asked if they might come in and see how Mom was doing, but Papa Meatball said no. If permission is granted, the police can enter and search the property in question as part of the standard routine for police responses. Police must independently verify the presence of bruises and other signs of physical altercation in order to establish probable cause. As the supervisor is being briefed on the issue, he learns that his 59-year-old paraplegic brother also lives at the residence. It's now obvious that shouting alone isn't enough to warrant an arrest. As a result, the police have no grounds to interfere or resort to physical force. Medical personnel arrive shortly after, and the supervisor lets them in to check on her mother. He briefs them before the examination so that they may better understand what they're looking at.
Rolo! I only need one of you. Rolo, in the house. Yeah.
Papa Meatball's tone of seriousness and irony in evaluating the cops is hard to argue with because he seemed to be correct. We believe the police should have let the caretaker dress his 87-year-old mother before taking her away from him. There have been no developments or court proceedings reported since this video was made. However, the police could be held liable for obstructing the caretaker's ability to do his job if medical personnel uncover any symptoms of cold or flu caused by the mother's exposure to the cold while confined in the toilet. Now let's move to our final clip.
Okay. Give me some space, dude.
Go ahead and turn.
Give me some space,
Put your hands
dude.
behind your back.
No, give me some. Ow! Oh my.
YouTuber and First Amendment auditor Joshua Roberts set out to investigate the public spaces near Dove Technologies in Florence on September 9th, 2022. Two workers contacted him after discovering his recording of their workplace and voicing their displeasure. An employee took an aggressive tack, reaching for his camera and trying to take it from him. Roberts explained to them that he was acting within the law and threatened to use a taser on them if they persisted in their assault. After hearing his warning, the two workers retreated. Then one of them called for a co-worker whom she apparently refers to as her spouse, although we have no more details about this person at this time. The Florence County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene, thus he may have been connected to them.
Who are you?
You don't have my signed authorization to have my face on that camera. Turn it off.
Can I have your signed authorization? This guy's coming up aggressive, everyone. Can I help you?
No, can you help us?
Yo, get away from me, buddy.
No, dude. Who are you?
Get away from me, dude.
Why are you here?
Back the...
Why are you here?
I suggest you leave me alone.
You're on private property.
I suggest you do something about that then and get back inside.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah, really. You like going around people like this?
You know
think
what?
that's fun? Don't touch my buddy.
One of the workers complained to management that Roberts was trespassing on company property. Roberts refuted the claim by saying he was actually on an easement. An easement is a restricted, non-possessory right of use over another person's land under South Carolina law. Neither the grantor nor the grantee may alter the location, size, or scope of the gift without the other party's consent after it's been made. A South Carolina power pole crosses the property, establishing an easement as seen in the video. Since the electric pole is considered public property, Roberts was within his rights to be near it. Since a utility easement does not instantly change into public property, the workers were also within their rights to claim the land as their own private property. The workers then called the police, who responded quickly to the building. When asked what happened, Roberts said he was assaulted and gave his version of the events.
What's going on, bud? Come in, man.
Oh, nothing. Just getting assaulted out here. That's about it.
Get assaulted.
Yeah, by one of their workers.
What happened?
I was just out here taking some pictures, and one of the guys came out here saying he didn't want to be filmed, and he ran up to me, started circling me, grabbed my camera, started pushing up on me.
A third-degree assault and battery is defined in Section 16-3600, subsection E1 of the South Carolina Code of Laws as any unlawful effort to injure another person with the current ability to do so. Willfully and deliberately destroying any type or class of personal property or another person's goods and channels is also prohibited by Section 16-11-510. Possible violations of these two laws included the employee's hostile attitude, and one of them attempting to take Robert's camera, potentially with the purpose to destroy it. At some point, one of the officers started talking to the workers while the other kept talking to Roberts. It's important to point out that Roberts acted in a provocative manner the entire time they spoke. The presence of First Amendment auditors and their predisposition to be provocative has long been acknowledged by the Municipal Association of South Carolina. Therefore, authorities and officers inside the state have been given instructions on how to deal with contacts with them. The first three cops tried to handle the situation professionally, despite Roberts' provocative behavior. When Sergeant Paul Morrison joined the others, though, things began to change. Morrison claimed that he routinely kept this close proximity when interrogating a suspect, and he did so while talking to Roberts. Morrison tackled Roberts to the ground and tried to damage his camera by stomping on it without giving him any advance warning that he might be arrested. Roberts revealed video from the body camera purportedly showing Sergeant Morrison attempting to erase footage. Frustrated, Roberts said, "That's why I was trying to show him when he was all throwing me on the ground, and I'm like, at least turn off the camera." Sergeant Morrison may have attempted to alter or destroy proof of his wrongdoing. Roberts was successful in retrieving all of his videos. As a result, an internal affairs investigation was launched when he lodged a written complaint against the officer. Sergeant Morrison was forced to resign as a result of the investigation. In a statement released after the event, Sheriff T.J. Joy Lehner said that Sergeant Morrison had broken several policies. The Florence County Sheriff's Office has decided to let Sergeant Morrison go as a result. The First Amendment rights of residents and tourists of Florence County were underlined by Sheriff Lehner. The 12th Century Solicitor's Office is now in charge of the case.